Good morning. It's November the 17th. I'm back. Still walking, just heading downtown again. And you may think, if you watched on Thursday, but you just walked downtown on Thursday, why can't you do something different? Well, Thursday I actually kind of walked downtown twice. Once just downtown, and then that night I walked to First Baptist Church for a choir rehearsal. And after that, so that was 10,000 steps that day. And my foot complained. So, quite a lot. So I took it easy the next couple of days. And we'll see how it goes today. It's actually complaining as I walk on it right now. But I haven't really tested it here yet. So we'll see what happens as I continue on my merry way downtown on a cool November the 17th. But warmer than it could be. It's +2 at the moment. Cooler this week than it was last week, and there might even be some snow later in the week. We'll see. I haven't looked recently, but they were showing some, so it's possible. I have a number of things to do downtown besides the usual lunch and writing. I've got a bunch of books in my left hand in a bag that I have to mail off that were purchased or for review purposes from Shadowpaw Press, my publishing company. So I have to get those to the mail. And I'm upgrading my phone, so this is probably the last time I will be live streaming using my iPhone 15, as I anticipate upgrading to a 17 Plus. I just hope it still fits in my gimbal. You know, the way that Apple likes to resize things every time they issue a new device, so we'll see what happens. I'm sure it won't fit in the case. You always have to get a new case. So that's the big afternoon. Oh, I have to pick up some pills too. So a fun-filled, exciting afternoon here in Regina, Saskatchewan, where we are all very, very, very happy because the Saskatchewan Roughriders won the Grey Cup yesterday. Canadian Football League Championship in Winnipeg, beating the Montreal Alouettes 25-17. We were a little nervous toward the end, but thanks to a fumble on the 1-yard line by Montreal that snuffed out a potential touchdown for them that could have let them tie the game, we won. So yay us. There'll be the team's coming in today. There'll be people at Mosaic Stadium to greet them this afternoon, and then tomorrow there'll be a parade down Albert Street, which I'll be walking along in a moment. I don't know that I'll go out to see it. My foot is not happy. I was hoping it would be happier than this today. Oh well. It's kind of hit or miss. I keep hoping that I'll just wake up some morning and it'll be 100% again, but it's a gradual process for sure. I think it's less swollen, but it's aching more, so I don't know what that means. Somebody, I think it's on Twitch of all places, which I forget I'm connected to. There's all this text scrolling by. I can't possibly read it, so it doesn't look important. Maybe I'll quit streaming on Twitch if I'm going to get spam. I can't imagine anybody watches me there anyway. Not really. Except for whatever this spam thing is. We'll go on Twitch to watch people play games, don't they? That's kind of its main thing. It just happens to be one of the things I can stream to. Facebook and YouTube are the main ones. YouTube is the main one, since I have a channel there and it's actually monetized. Some months I make enough for 2 cups of coffee. Some months I don't make enough for even 1 cup of coffee. Especially when I was laid up with the broken ankle, not walking. But the World Shapers podcast is on there too, so that picks up a few views as well. I think I'm at I forget now, 1,358 subscribers or something like that right now, which isn't bad. Enough to bring in a few bucks. I'm glad I put on my hat and gloves. It's quite chilly with the wind blowing. We'll see what happens at the corner here. That's usually determines my route, is whether I catch the slide or not. Royal Saskatchewan Museum over there, of course. Check contrails. Let's see. Oh, we'll look this way. I think I waited here last time. Bonjour, Steph. Alas, no. Not well enough to say that I do. I speak it as well as my grade 7 French class, and living in Canada all these years has enabled me, which is not very. I've sung it a lot, but not with comprehension as I sing. I can pronounce it pretty well because of that. I only know a little bit. Je parle français un peu, sûrement. There you go. That's just about all my words. I'm pretty good, except for the sore foot from the recovering from the broken ankle I had this summer. Still not back to 100%. As I keep saying, it's not the ankle that hurts, oddly. It's the foot. Plus, my foot was already hurting before I started walking, so there's some of that as well. I have orthotics, which are supposed to help, and sometimes I think they do. Right now, actually feels more like what I was feeling before I got the orthotics, so I don't know what's exactly going on, but not enough to stop me walking, just aches. It's like we'll be going straight at this intersection too. Quite often if I miss that light back there, I end up stuck on this side because the lights seem to be timed pretty good for walking this way. Well, they don't really time them for pedestrians. They try to time them for cars, but still. Another good reason to get a new phone today is I can see a crack in the protective screen on this one. Don't know when that happened. But there'll be a new one of those as well, so. Oops. All right, readjusting that bag of books I'm carrying. Classic Studios, where my daughter used to dance and work. I still don't really know what's in this building. I think it's some kind of halfway house, but it's not labeled, so it's hard to tell. Excuse me. One of the old apartment buildings over there. Braemar Apartments. Blanco Cantina. I tend to call it Casablanca, which is not its name at all, but been a lot of restaurants in here, but it's a cool space because it's an old house. It still looks like a house inside, except with a restaurant in it. I'm wearing my toque and my head's starting to get warm. I may take it off before too long. Yeah, I've lived here since 1988. When I moved up here from Weyburn, which is a smaller city in the southeast, about 10,000 people, where I was editor of the Weyburn Review, the newspaper, when I quit and moved up here to be communications officer for the Saskatchewan Science Centre. I did that for 5 years, I guess, and then I quit and became a full-time freelance writer, and more recently publisher and editor and all that stuff. Anything with words. I also do some acting, not a lot, but some. A lot of singing, but that's generally just for fun. They don't pay me much, if ever. Kind of the same with the acting. I've done some professional shows, but not enough to make a significant contribution to my income, that's for sure. In fact, I think the last one was, years ago now. Last time I had a professional contract. But I am an equity member, Canadian Actors Equity. No, since 1988, so 37 years. Is that right? Yeah, 37 years I've lived in Regina now. Let's see. Yeah, 37 years. Or, yeah, this fall, in fact, 37 years. There's strip mall here. That's number 1 fire hall. Someone a while ago asked me to walk by it, so there it is. The main fire hall. And I said I'd probably be walking by it soon, and here I am. Well, this one, I should. Nobody pressed the button. But there's no left turn signals here, so I'm still going to take this one. So this will take me by the fire hall again. Maybe I'll walk down this side of it for whoever that was interested, if they catch this. Come down this side, you see the garage doors for the fire engines. Sometimes you see a fire engine, but not today. Fire station number 1, there you go. Once upon a time, the towers on fire engine stations were for drying hoses. I don't know if they still use it for that or not. Also, they used to have lookouts in the tops. You could look out over the city and see if there was any smoke somewhere, but now I think they're mostly decorative. This building coming up on the left used to be the YMCA. I used to go there to work out, but it hasn't been the Y now for several years. And that sign about a health center coming soon has been there for a long time, so I don't know how they define soon. Doesn't seem to have arrived yet. Maybe I'll cross here. We can get down to Victoria, just for more interest's sake. And my daughter came here for swimming lessons, and so we spent, and also her first daycare was in here when it was still a Y. So, building we know well. Used to be my dentist was in that building, but that was many, many years ago now. It's the North Canadian Oils building on the left, or at least it was. I think that's still what it's called. I'm going to take off my hat because my head's getting hot. Get it to stick in my pocket here, that would be great. There we go. So there's a very nice pool in there. I don't know what's happened to it. And there is a gym in there that I thought about joining, but I ended up at a place called OPEX, which I like because there's always trainers there when you're working out to help you if you have any questions with technique or whatever. And they give you a personalized workout each day that you go, which is kind of nice. Oh, why did the gimbal suddenly go cockeyed there? I don't know. This will bring us up across from City Hall once we get up here a little bit further to Victoria Avenue. It's only about 3 blocks that way is where we're headed. This used to be open, but they secured it a few years ago because that's the courthouse that we're coming up behind right now, right there. It's not doing too bad, but it has been aching the whole way. But not horrendously. My back's hurting a little because I'm carrying extra weight. Oh well, that's just being 66 is what that is. There used to be the Salvation Army, now there's a lawyer's office in there. There you go. Courthouse. And this is part of the original courthouse, which is old enough that it still has VR on it, Victoria Regina. Queen Victoria. She was queen when the original courthouse was built. Yeah, there it is. VR. Victoria Regina. That's where our name comes from, of course, except it's pronounced Regina here. It should be Regina. Although, I was watching something from the UK and they pronounced it Regina, which I thought was interesting. City Hall. The gold building over there is SGI, Saskatchewan Government Insurance. I do have some Saskatoon videos. Not recently, but if you look back through what I've recorded a few up there. Usually kind of crossing the Broadway Bridge, that area, since I'm usually staying at one of the downtown hotels when I do them. I was up there, but again, my foot was not up to doing walks at the time, so I didn't try to do one. Front of the courthouse. That's Knox Metropolitan United Church over there. That's Revenue Canada, which is why it looks like a bunker. It's an evil-looking building for the tax collectors, which always seems appropriate to me. Not a big fan of paying taxes. Don't know anybody who is. When you get close to lunch, like we are now, you see more people on the streets than you do other times. Coming up on the right is my favorite apartment building, the Balfour. We actually looked at a place in there way back when we first got married. But it didn't have, it's only got outdoor parking. And yeah, in the end we decided against it. At the time, I don't even think they had a fence around the parking. It's a nice condo though, at the time, and I presume still. The east wing over there had condos and the west wing here was rental. That may have changed because that was 28 years ago that we were looking. There it is, the Balfour. If you were shooting a movie and you needed something to stand in for a New York apartment building, this would be the place you'd want to use. Hi, Kirk. And Vancouver. Victoria Park over there. So here's First Baptist. This is where I walked to on Thursday night after walking downtown to the hotel, which is only another block. So That's why Thursday I did 10,000 steps, which was not quite the most I've done since I started walking again, but pretty close. The longest day was one in Toronto when I managed to do 19,000, but it was in short chunks. Shorter than this. I don't think I ever walked. Might have walked 20 minutes once that time, but I think even then it was less. Anyway, so I'm singing with the choir here for their Christmas concert coming up on the 14th. I help them out most times, Easter and Christmas. I wasn't able to do last Easter because we were away, but I think this is my 4th Christmas one. And they actually do pay me, not a lot, just an honorarium, but it's nice. It's the cenotaph over there. That's kind of the heart of downtown, those buildings there. This is what's called the Land Titles Building, because that's what it was once, and it says that over the door. But now it has other things in it, including the Saskatchewan Sports Hall of Fame, as you can see right there. And this is the Hotel Saskatchewan coming up on my right, which is where I am headed. And we'll be happy to get there and sit down again. The walk home will actually be longer because I have to go down to the Cornwall Centre, which is a couple of more blocks to the north, and come home from there. But I won't be live streaming that one, I don't think. Especially since I'll have a new phone and it may not be ready to go yet. In fact, it almost certainly won't be as far as this kind of thing. There you go, Victoria Park. Kind of cool building there is Federal Office Building. Modern, or I think it's quite Art Deco. Dates to the 30s anyway, I believe. I mean, there's many more Federal Office buildings now, I think, but that was the main one. Hotel Saskatchewan here is a Marriott, like just about everything is. And then the curvy building up past that is Sask Power, but I won't be walking that far today. I will stop here. There's always a nice view of downtown here. And thanks for walking with me. I don't know when I'll be back. I'm taking it day by day with the foot, so but hopefully